and internet banking. We pride ourselves in people, technology and service. We are here to serve you and share in your success story. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Zenith Bank, a truly Gambian partner.
Welcome back to the news. Jacob Zuma has been re-elected as leader of South Africa's governing African National Congress. He won an overwhelming majority of votes cast by over 4,000 delegates who attended the Congress. And the International Criminal Court has acquitted a former leading Congolese militia leader of war crimes and crimes against humanity. We have details of these and other stories in this African News Roundup.
President Jacob Zuma was re-elected leader of South Africa's governing African National Congress. He received an overwhelming majority of votes cast by some 4,000 delegates at the party's Mangwang conference. He had been favored to secure the leadership after he was challenged for the top job by his deputy, Kgalema Motlanthe. Motlanthe is replaced as deputy president by anti-apartheid-era hero Cyril Ramaphosa. Jacob Zuma says he will step down in 2014. The International Criminal Court in The Hague acquitted former Congolese militia leader Mathieu Ngojolo Chui of war crimes and crimes against humanity. He was accused for the 2003 killings of 200 residents in the mineral-rich Ituri region of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The court in The Hague heard reports of victims being burned alive, babies smashed against walls, and women raped. Ngojolo denied ordering the attack, saying he learned of it days later. The only other Congolese case the ICC has heard is that of militia leader Thomas Lubanga, sentenced to 14 years earlier this year. The government of the Democratic Republic of Congo and the M23 will continue talks in the Ugandan capital Kampala until December 31st. The talks were supposed to end this week. The 2 points on the agenda are a review of the March 23, 2009 accords between the government and a pro-Rwandan rebellion, and on security and economic management of the east of the country. Kinshasa insists the country's constitution be upheld without exception.
As South Koreans gear up for the polls to elect a new president on Wednesday, candidates are warming up to convince the electorate that they can fulfill their wishes. But for voters, it all comes to the economy. But as Paula Hancock reports, candidates' personal history may be the deciding factor.
The daughter of a brutal dictator or the child of South Korea's economic savior. How Koreans see Park Geun-hye really depends on how they view her father. Park Geun-hye seized power in a military coup in 1961. He changed the constitution to cement power and crack down on dissent and opposition. He's accused of human rights abuses. But supporters point to his role in rebuilding the country from the ashes of the Korean War, transforming the economy and sparking growth. After months of trying to defend her father's actions, Park finally apologized in September for those hurt by his dictatorial rule. I understand that the end does not justify the means, she said, and this should be a lasting value for democracy. Politics shaped Park as she spent her formative years in the Blue House. It also destroyed her family. Her mother was assassinated in 1974, killed by a botched North Korean attempt to kill Park Geun-hye. Park then assumed the role of First Lady until her father was assassinated by his security chief in 1979. Some experts say she is struggling to emerge from her father's shadow.
It's a big question whether she wants it and whether she can afford it. Because for most people who are supporting her, she is above all daughter of her father.
Park herself was attacked during an election rally 6 years ago. She has a scar on her lower right cheek, which a recent campaign advertisement plays on. She talks of wanting to heal the scars of the people. Park never married and has no children, considered unusual in such a traditional society. But polls show her in a good position to become South Korea's first female president. One man stands in her way. Liberal candidate Moon Jae-in, chief of staff for the late president Roh Moo-hyun. Stepping into the spotlight, Moon used to be a human rights activist. In fact, he was imprisoned during the 1970s for protesting against the regime of Park's father. A former Special Forces commando and a black belt in judo, he's selling himself as the down-to-earth choice. Both candidates are highlighting the negative aspects of their rivals' past while focusing on the positives of their own. And both are hoping that the ghosts of presidents past will help propel them to the Blue House. Paula Hancock's CNN Seoul.
Well, survivors in Sandy Hook Elementary have returned to school today after a gunman shot dead 20 children and 6 adults. It has been 4 days since the tragedy occurred, and as we hear in this CNN report, the school, according to its people, will never be the same for them.
Truckloads filled with everything from desks to bulletin boards leaving Sandy Hook Elementary, heading here to the neighboring town of Monroe.
Bookcases, that's the students' materials, the backpacks that they left. When the children come in, whenever the school is started, they walk into a classroom that looks as close as possible as their classroom that they left.
Steve Vavrick is the town's chief executive. He said as soon as he heard about the horror at Sandy Hook, he offered up Chalk Hill Middle School. It's empty because it closed recently. Vavrick met with some of the students and teachers at Sunday's vigil.
Most of them were very, very thankful that they had a place to go back to work. The children and the teachers were... It was emotional.
All-day contractors from around the region donated their time to transform this former middle school into an elementary school.
Just to give you a sense, I mean, the toilets all have to be replaced to smaller size. You know, things have to be made accessible, towel dispensers, things like that, lowered.
Jim Augustine is Monroe's school superintendent.
Why is it so important to get the students of Sandy Hook into a building like Chalk Hill and back in their classroom?
Well, that's exactly the sense of normalcy that they need to begin the healing process and to feel safe and protected and to get back into a routine.
One change every parent will notice at schools across the area after Sandy Hook: police patrol.
Is that a protective measure? Is that the normal? Or is that more a way to help families and students alleviate some anxiety as they return to class?
All of the above. All of the above. Unfortunately, it may be the new normal. It may be the way we have to take action in the future.
Monroe town officials say Chalk Hill, the building, will be ready midweek, but then it's up to Newtown school officials to decide when they think it is right to bring the children back to school. Kate Baldwin, CNN, Newtown, Connecticut.
Well, time now to take another break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned then.
Fete Christmas program Bureni, Kumbeni, Mageni, get na fi am su fi muse am sax malaka wax rajaxe America tot Angleterre kofa promotions de yeksi amna ndaw guddi Pape Diouf dama ne Pape Diouf ak guddi grand bégué live ci biir réewi Gambia ànd ak nganda gi ci biir mbalax mi Mbaye Dieye Faye saf ñëpp dama ne nettali sa làmmiñu borom
waa Gambia salaamaaleykum maaleykum salaam du ngeen doyal ci man waaye man Pape Diouf du ma doyal ci yéen mukk décembre dañuy ñëwaat ànd ak ñan Gofa promotion grand bégué ba ñu defoon fële ci Sénégal mu tas àdduna la ñuy def fii ci Gambia
21st December 2012 ca Pinchami Hall Paradise Beach Hotel $500 22nd December Grand Dance ca Duplex the New Look VIP $500 individual $300 23rd December show Birkama Joko Yengotina entrance fee $200 flat powered by Global Properties Africell and the new Double XL energy drink by Banjul Breweries. Merry Christmas to you all.
Welcome back. There will be no place for the Bara, SL and Mayamba sides in the semi-finals of the ongoing zonal championship. Ben narrowly lost 1-0 to Western Region Giants Birkama in a thrilling contest at the Boxbar Mini Stadium. Meanwhile, first-timers Burfoot continue their fairy tale journey in the competition with a hard-fought penalty shootout win over serial champions Serakunda East at the East Park. The two sides failed